Hey you guys, so today I thought we could do a chatty get ready with me. That's what I always think we should do. I don't know. I wanted to do an updated go-to look because I've changed it up and it's been a while since I've done one, so let's do this. So for my foundation, I mixed, obviously, Estee Lauder Double Wear Nude and then the Loreal Pro Glow, and I mixed 25 and 25% of that and then 50% of this moisturizer from GlamGlow. It's the GlamGlow Glow Starter Mega Illuminating Moisturizer in Nude Glow. I've been kind of liking doing a lighter coverage foundation. My skin obviously is just all over the place. Some days it's really good, some days it gets a lot worse. But I usually just kind of get like a breakout during the week, and then it's kind of like a few days where it's just tapering off and it's still there and whatever. So yeah, I, for the longest time, was just trying to cover it with like thicker and thicker foundation, and I was just trying to find the most like high coverage foundation I possibly could. And I was just applying like so much of it, trying to cover my acne, and it just seemed like no matter what I did, it wasn't covering. Like everywhere else would look perfect, but my acne was still showing through, and it was just driving me nuts, and I would try and go over it with concealer, and it just like wasn't happening for me. And then when I was in Toronto filming with Nudestix, they had a makeup artist on set, and this is actually really common. It's funny because a lot of times during these photo shoots with like influencers and stuff like that, they will hire makeup artists, and it's just kind of funny because like most of us are makeup artists, but a lot of people get their makeup done on set. Anyways, whatever. So they hired a makeup artist, and when they told me this in the morning, they were like, oh, do you want the makeup artist to do your makeup? And I was like, no. Like, I was like, why? Like, no, I wouldn't do that because I know how I like to do my makeup, and especially when it comes to my base, like I've just been feeling so uncomfortable with it lately that I just was like, no, like I don't want to have someone else doing my face. I'm just gonna dab over this with a beauty blender. So then the makeup artist showed up, and we started kind of talking and stuff like that, and she was talking about, you know, art and makeup and her career and all this different stuff, and like the way that she was talking, I could tell that she was a working makeup artist, like somebody that would probably work on like sets or fashion shows or whatever, as opposed to somebody that does like more Instagram based makeup and stuff like that. And eventually found out that this woman works with Pat McGrath. So obviously I was like, please do my fucking makeup for Christ's sakes. And so obviously I'm gonna put some Tarte Shape Tape under my eyes. Obviously, you know, we were on set with Nudestix, and they're a lot more kind of natural and all that stuff. And so this lady, her name was Brodine, by the way, she was great. She asked me if I was comfortable wearing like less coverage, and of course I was like, yes, like no problem. But I was tripping a little bit because I was just nervous. Like, I mean, again, like my skin hasn't been great, and obviously Taylor's skin, if you watch my last video, is phenomenal. I'm gonna use this shitty fucking brush and still use it to blend out until it falls literally apart to the point where I can't use it. It's getting there. But anyway, so I just was feeling a little bit nervous because obviously, like, you know, I'm around a bunch of people that have flawless skin, and I just don't. Like, I just don't. So, you know, we were gonna be filming and taking pictures, and I was just like, oh god, like this is gonna be a nightmare. And so what she did was just apply this super, super light coverage. Like, she took like face and body, which is already like basically just water, and then she sheared it out even further. And that's what she put all over my skin, was this face and body. And then she went in and spot concealed. I got up after and I looked in the mirror, and I just was like, holy crap, like my skin looks so much better. And see, that I feel like that's too high coverage when you're wearing light coverage foundation. I don't know, we'll have to see about that. I just felt like my skin looked so much better. Like and I felt so stupid because I was like, this whole time, like I've just been trying to like pile on foundation, and I kind of realized that all that does is like the areas of my skin that don't need it now look completely flawless. And so in comparison, like you just can't, it's almost like your acne stands out even worse. And then on top of that, the skin that doesn't need it now looks even drier and cakier and patchy because there's so much foundation on it, and it's not even achieving what you want to achieve. So I like the idea of doing that light coverage so that the areas that don't need to be covered aren't, and then going in and spot concealing. So anyways, that's what I've been doing for the last little while, and I really, really like it. I feel like my skin is looking so much better, and honestly, I'm feeling so much more comfortable. Like it was getting to the point where I was like, I don't even want to wear makeup because I feel like when I put makeup over top, it just looks even worse. And so I've really been liking doing that instead, and it's made me feel a lot more confident and just better about my skin. If you guys want, I'm thinking about doing kind of like a more in-depth tutorial talking about how to do lighter coverage foundation while still covering like any problems you might have. Like I have every skin problem under the sun that you could possibly have. So yeah, I've been thinking about doing that. If you guys want to see a more in-depth tutorial, let me know in the comments and I'll do that. Right now, I'm just mixing a little bit of the new NARS, what are these called? Soft Matte Complete Concealer. So I picked it up in shade Custard and Chantilly? Oh, I'm gonna mix those two. And then I'm just taking the tiniest little amount of that and I'm going to dot it over my spots. It needs to be a little bit darker. I fucked it up. So anyways, just dotting that over my little spot. Any areas of redness that I feel like need an extra little bit of coverage. Also, still talking about skin issues, I was asking you guys on Snapchat what you guys have done for acne scarring for those of you that have dealt with it. And I picked up a couple of the products that some of you guys had recommended. So I picked up D-Scar from Kate Somerville, as well as, I think it's called Lumi White. And it's like, the D-Scar one is supposed to get rid of like indentations and stuff like that and actual scars. And then the Lumi White or whatever it is supposed to lighten the actual like color of the acne scarring. So I picked up those two, and then I also picked up Good Genes from Sunday Riley. And then a bunch of you guys were saying to try putting aloe on, so I'm gonna go to Whole Foods and I'm gonna get some aloe. And I can keep you guys updated on that as well if you guys wanna know, you know, how that stuff has been working for me, or if you are trying to deal with that as well, then we can deal with it together, man. Okay, so that's basically it for my skin for right now. Yeah, I mean, I just like how this looks a little bit more. Obviously, I still have skin texture and stuff like that. You're going to see it. There's nothing I can do about it. I have textured skin. It's my life. I don't know what to do. But anyway, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. And let's move on. Here's a thing. Urban Decay Primer Potion. I have never used this. Well, I've used it recently now, but I had never tried it before. I just feel like lately, more and more, I've been kind of moving away from super dramatic makeup or anything that feels super heavy or looks super heavy. And it's funny because MAC Paint Pot for the longest time was something that I just never moved away from because I was like, it works, why would I change it? And it's just one of those products that is like, I don't find it fun to pick up eyeshadow primer, you know what I mean? Like, that's like a thing that when I have to pick it up, I'm like, oh my god, this is the worst. Like, I hate spending money on this. I don't like when things look super heavy. I don't like when things look like just so much less like skin because of how much product you're applying. And I just feel like this is like a nice thin layer. I mean, obviously I don't have to sell this to you guys. This has like been like a holy grail product for so many people for like years and years. I'm gonna go over that with a base shadow quickly. I just feel like we're kind of being told right now to put on so many layers of products, and obviously this is a selling technique, but at the same time it's crazy, you know what I mean? And like, you basically are doing all these layers and then layers on top of that to counteract the look of these other layers. Like, you're doing all this skincare and then a primer and then color correcting and then a foundation and then concealer on top of that and then cream contour and then powder contour and then powder highlight and then translucent powder and then a setting spray to get rid of the look of the powder, and like all this stuff. Like, it's just crazy to me. And 9 times out of 10, most people don't even need like half of those products, you know what I mean? Like, they could just go in with like a BB cream and their skin would look flawless. Like, it's just crazy. I feel like I'm just stepping away from it a little bit. Okay, so for my eyes, I'm just gonna be using my Anastasia Contour Kit, good ol', and I'm gonna go on with the kind of cooler tone shade first. I'm just picking that up on a Smith 232 brush, and I'm going to, you know, go into the crease. And then I'm also going to blend it up a little bit towards the inner corner of my brow. I don't want to blend up too high towards my brow in the outer corner. If anything, I want to keep it quite low and not really wing it up, just because I'm going for kind of a more subdued look. Next, I'm going to grab this center color here, which is a little bit warmer, on this tiny little Hakuhodo brush. It's so nice. I don't know what number it is because there's no number on it, but it's really, really lovely. It's like using a little baby's pinky finger. Probably the creepiest comparison I could have possibly made. Anyways, I'm going to take that and put it on my outer corner, blending down towards the lash line. And then I'm going to bring it into the crease, but I'm actually going to, instead of lifting my brush upwards so that it's bringing more color above the crease, I'm going to tilt it downwards so it's actually bringing more color onto the lid. The reason that I'm doing this is to actually make my eyes appear a little bit smaller, poor me. Just because I want to make it look a little bit more almond shaped as opposed to, you know, super like wide and open. And then I'm going to take a Smith 230 brush and just really blend over top of that. If this gets a little bit too dark and you want to make it just lighter so it's something that's easier to wear during the day if you're worried about that, you can just take like a big fluffy brush with a lighter eyeshadow color and kind of sweep over top of it. Sometimes when you're building up colors like this, it can just get a little bit too much really quick. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with the deepest color from the Anastasia Contour Kit. And I'm going to take it on a little angle brush. I don't want an angle brush that's super precise. I want it to be a little bit fluffier, so it'll create kind of more of a smoky look. So what I'm gonna do is basically stamp this along the outer corner. And then when there's less product on the brush, I can start stamping it in towards the inner corner as well as just above my original line. So it will make it look nice and diffused without having to go in with a secondary brush to blend it out. And then you can keep building up that color however much you want right on that outer corner. I've just been doing this kind of in lieu of a winged liner. Guys, things are changing. I don't know what the fuck's going on with me. But yeah, I still like to wear a little bit of a lash during the day, like usually just a little half lash. But you know, I still like a little bit of definition there, but nothing too crazy, you know? So next you can take either black or brown. I mean, really you can use whatever color you want, but I'm gonna use black. And I'm going to go ahead and tightline my upper lash. Sometimes when you're not wearing as much makeup, it's nice to do this, just because it can make your lash line look a little bit fuller without, you know, having to go in with like a super thick liner or whatever. Next I'm gonna go in with just a little bit of eyeshadow under my lower lash line, so I'm probably gonna mix a little bit of these two. So the next thing I'm going to do is take my Stila Stay All Day Waterproof Liquid Liner, and I'm basically going to look down into my mirror and coat those lashes on the top because I'm going to be wearing a half lash today. So I still want the top of my lashes to all look black, the same color, as opposed to like a black half lash right here and then it's all white and dusty eyelashes on that side. And then I'm just taking my lashes. These are some little lashes that I got while I was in Japan. They're super nice, and I just chopped them up into half lashes. I like to take these little things these days and squish my lashes together. It makes them stay on a lot better, and it also kind of helps to blend them. Then I'm going to go in with my mascara. I'm going to be using my Tarte Lights Camera Lashes as Uris. It might be worth wiping off a little bit of your additional mascara if it's kind of like your first time doing half lashes, just because sometimes the difference between your natural lash and the false lash can be a little bit too much and it makes it a little more obvious. So if you go in with a little bit of a drier mascara, it won't coat your eyelashes as heavily or like clump them together, so that you can like go in and separate them and then add more where you need to. I hope that makes sense. Then I'm just gonna take my CoverGirl Clump Crusher in Waterproof, and I'm probably just gonna apply a little touch of this to the outer corner. Okay, I'm gonna go in and contour. I'm gonna be using my Bondi Bay from Nudestix, and I'm just gonna put a line of that and then blend it out with my little beauty blender. Sometimes I like to grab a little on my beauty blender like this too and just give it an even more diffused look, which helps to blend it out as well. I'm just pulling back my hair so that I can get into my hairline a little bit. I know most people try to stay away from their hairline, but I'm just trying to make it look all faded. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do is go into my Illumi-naughty from Nudestix, and I'm just gonna put that on my fingers. Update on my makeup room. For those of you that don't know, I'm getting a custom desk made, and I went in like weeks and weeks and weeks ago to kind of tell them what I wanted and all that stuff, and it should be done in a couple weeks. So I'm gonna completely change it around in here. It's gonna look really different. Hopefully there's gonna be a lot of plants present. And I'm just really excited because I just feel like the rest of my apartment, I've kind of made it look how I want it to look, and I really enjoy it. Like, I like all the spaces in my apartment, but my makeup room has just kind of been the one that, like, isn't my favorite area, which it should be. I may, keyword may, do a makeup room tour once it's all done and organized and settled. I've been thinking about it. I've kind of been skipping blush lately, mostly because all my favorite blushes get discontinued, so I'm gonna skip blush today again. For my lips lately, honestly, I've just been wearing a lot of lip balm. I'm the worst. Like, I've become the most basic motherfucker. But because I can finally, I'm gonna go in with my MAC lipstick. Let's do this. Wow, Sam, that essentially looks like it's your lip color put into a sheer nude lipstick. Yes, you're right, it is. Let me go do my hair so I can come back looking really magical, and I'll do my outro at that point. Alright, you guys, so that's everything for me today. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and watching. I hope you guys learned something cool today. By the way, if you guys want to chat with me a little more regularly, you should consider joining the Periscope fam, because that's where I'm usually at. We talk there most days. So yeah, I'll leave that info below, as well as my product description, because I'm the best YouTuber in the world. Okay, bye guys.